Today I'm going to teach you how to sell anything using psychology. As human beings, we've always wondered how to get people to do what we want.
I need a few days off.
You should take a few days off.
Thanks, buddy.
Whether it's selling someone something, getting preferential treatment, securing a date.
Hey, Lisa.
Her name's not Lisa.
I know, but if every time I say, hey, Lisa, then eventually she'll come up to me and she'll be like, my name's not Lisa, it's Jennifer, whatever. And I'll do a big apology. And I'll say, I thought you were the Lisa who was mad at me for not calling. And then from then on, Jennifer, or whatever her name is, will think that I dated a girl who looked just like her, who I rejected. She'll develop this unconscious need to win my approval, and from then on, it's cake.
Damn.
We've all wondered what it would be like to get whatever you want. So in today's video, I want to teach you how to sell anything using psychology. Quick disclaimer before we get into this video, psychology is very, very powerful, especially the things we're going to talk about today. And the human mind is not a game or a toy. Everything I share with you in today's video is going to be strictly for informational purposes. Do not use any of the psychological tricks I teach you today to manipulate or take advantage of people. Please only use this stuff ethically. So with all that out the way, let's get into it. So as many of you guys know, I made my first $1 million in digital marketing. But before that, I made my first 6 figures in sales. For those of you guys that know how sales works, you know it's based off a commission. So if I made 6 figures, I probably sold millions of dollars in product. Along that journey of becoming good at sales and marketing, you learn a lot about people. You learn about the psychology of how people work. And what I noticed is the more psychology I learned, the more I learned about people, the better I got at sales, and through extension of that, marketing. So in this video, I want to share what I've learned through 8 years of sales and 6 years of marketing, how I've used that to help me make money,
Sell me this pen.
get dates,
Hey, Lisa.
and improve my life overall. Before I share all the tricks with you, one thing we need to clear up is the misconception behind sales. I think when people look at salespeople, they assume they're forcefully telling someone to buy something. They're shoving something in someone's face. When you look at any sales movies like The Wolf of Wall Street, it seems like they're forcing something down their throat. When in reality, sales is a dance. You are not forcing anything on anyone. You are convincing them to get it under their own will. You are dancing with them and slowly leading them to your desired result. And to better understand why sales is a dance and it's not a fight, you have to better understand how the human brain works. Me and you as human beings, our brains are wired for survival. Even in this modern era of sales and advertising and marketing, our brains still process information like they would 10,000 years ago. When it comes to sales, there's 2 parts in the human brain. The amygdala, which is the brain's fear center, and the neocortex, which is the more developed part of the brain that we use to process information. Because our brain is wired for survival, information first has to pass through the amygdala to get into the neocortex, meaning it has to pass the fear check before your brain can process it. When I learned this, I realized you can't penetrate someone's mind by force. It has to be through finesse, something I like to call psychological selling. You can't force someone to think your ideas are good. You have to allow them to come to that conclusion themselves. If you guys have seen the movie Inception, it's a lot like that. You're planting seeds in their subconscious until they eventually come to the conclusion themselves.
Here's me planting an idea in your head. I say to you, don't think about elephants. What are you thinking about?
Elephants.
Let's go over some psychological tendencies, some little hacks that will allow you to seed plant into the brain and sell anything. To start, the most powerful psychological forces on the brain are fear and reward. That being said, you can't just scare someone or bribe someone into buying something because they're gonna see right through that. So what you have to do is subtly plant the fear and the reward in someone's brain through your speech. An example of this is, let's say I'm selling you a car, because this is a true story. I used to sell cars. Instead of saying, oh, you're gonna lose the car, people don't like that. It's confrontational. You're triggering their fear center and they're not processing that information. Instead of saying you're gonna lose the car, which people might perceive as a threat, I would say something along the lines of, this is a nice car, it's the last one on the lot. By saying it like that, their brain will automatically process it that this is the last one, they could potentially lose it, but I'm never making a threat directly. By doing that, I'm planting the seed of fear they might lose the car without directly telling them. The same goes for reward. Instead of saying this is the best car on the market, it's a great drive, you let them drive it themselves. That's why when you go to a car dealership, everyone is trying to get you to test drive the vehicle so you can feel it for yourself. You can experience the reward without being told what it is. When it comes to selling, facts tell, stories sell. So instead of telling them a fact that they might lose the car, share a story about how you were working with someone and they really wanted a car, but they held off and they lost it. That way, you're removing your customer from the direct threat, but you're also just sharing an innocent experience you had. Fear and reward are the most powerful psychological forces when selling, so you have to use these, and not in a direct way. You want to plant these seeds eventually until people come to the conclusion themselves. Number 2, authority signals.
Here in my garage, just bought this new Lamborghini here.
I have a confession to make. I do something that makes you guys more likely to listen to my advice in every video that I do. I film it from inside my penthouse because it gives me authority. And when someone has authority, you're more likely to trust them and believe them and do what they say. So whenever you are selling, whenever you are speaking, whenever you're selling yourself, you want to be coming from a place of authority. One really easy way of doing this is explaining how you've helped thousands of people and sharing stories about people you've helped. Another way is by showing some of your accomplishments. If you're in Forbes, say you were featured in Forbes. I show off my stuff. I see this all the time with sales calls with my team. When they got on the phone and they're trying to sell, it's not as easy as when I jump on there and I say, hey, it's Rene, and they freak out because they know me. It makes the sales process a lot easier because I have that authority. Selling from a place of authority will make the person more likely to listen to you. Number 3 is a big one, and that's social proof. People want to fit in. People want to be like other people. People want to go based off other people's recommendations. When it comes to asking a girl on a date, it's a lot harder when you're walking around, you see a girl on the street, to go ask her on a date because there's no social proof. Now, if you have mutual friends and they talk good about you, it becomes a lot easier because of that social proof. Same thing, when I owned my digital marketing agency, I used to sell digital marketing packages, and a lot of my easiest deals and biggest deals came from referrals. Because other people were happy with the results, they were more inclined to buy whatever I was selling. So again, back to practical applications. How can we seed plant social proof into our sales pitch or when we're selling someone? One thing I would do if I was selling a product, I'd say, this supplement right here, it's helped hundreds of people. I've never heard bad reviews about it. Everyone's generally happy when they get this one. That's an example of quickly throwing in some social proof throughout the conversation. Another thing you can do, you can get a ton of reviews and show it to your customers. Say, look at what other people are saying about this product. And you want to sprinkle as much fear, reward, authority, and social proof into your sales pitch as possible without triggering that fear center in the person's brain. The reason that you don't want to trigger that fear center is it prevents information from being processed by their brain. That's why when you see two people arguing, yelling over each other, no information is going through. They're just yelling. And that leads me to the 4 steps that you should always follow as a salesperson if you want to succeed. Not only do you want to seed plant all of these things, but you want to follow these 4 steps. 1, you never disagree with your customer. 2, you always agree with your customer. 3, you empathize and disarm them. And 4, you question them so they can question their own beliefs. One of the most common examples of this is when someone gives you an objection. Let's say I'm selling you a product and you say, I can't do that, it's too expensive. I have 2 options here. 1, I can disagree and ruin the entire sale. Or 2, I can follow this 4-step blueprint to get over the objection. So when a potential client says your product is too expensive, I say, I agree, I can definitely see why you would feel that way. I've had dozens of customers that tell me the same thing when we first speak. What makes you say that? And instead of going into defense mode and shutting off, they open up to you. They say something along the lines of, I saw a cheaper one somewhere else. From there, you can use the same blueprint. I agree, I've seen cheaper ones as well. The reason we're at this price is because we deliver a superior service. Then you follow up with another question. You ask them, wouldn't you want your work to be done well, high quality work? And that leads me to the last part of this. You ask them questions where their answer is going to be yes. By me asking, wouldn't you want your work to be superior quality? No one will ever say no to that. No one is gonna say, no, I want shitty work. They will always say, yes, I want superior quality work. And in their head, they are confirming that they are okay with the price because they want superior work, and that's what comes with superior work. In any instance of selling, you ask them questions that confirm what you think that helps you lead to the sale. If I'm selling you a car, I would say something along the lines of, you're looking for a reliable car, correct? They would say yes. If I'm selling you a marketing package, I would say something along the lines of, you want your business to make more money, correct? All of these questions are them confirming to themselves that this is the right product for them. So to wrap everything together, when you're selling something, whether it's trying to get a date, selling yourself, selling a product, what you want to do is bypass that fear center and get into the information processing. That way you can convince them to buy your product. I want you to think of the human brain as something with a bunch of switches. And when you're selling someone, all you're doing is using psychology to flip as many switches as possible until they say yes. That is how you sell anything using psychology. If you guys like this video, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. I've thought about stop making YouTube videos, but if you want me to keep making them, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Hopefully you see what I did there. Take care, guys. Break rules, never make them. She act up, I replace her. Make a million, then say some.